Let's start with the part 4. Hello everyone. Today we'll be doing various concepts like demand curve, demand schedule, and the difference between quantity demanded and demand. So let's start. So let's start with demand schedule. What is a demand schedule? Demand schedule is expressed as a table of price and quantity demanded, which is showing the quantities demanded at various prices. So it is really simple. So let me just draw a demand schedule. This is price. This is QD. I represent quantity demanded by QD. So when the price is let's say 5, quantity demanded is 6. Then the price is 10. Then let's say the price is 15. So at 10, as the price increase, quantity demanded decrease, right? So let's say at 10, the quantity demanded is 5. At 15, the quantity demanded is 2. So this particular thing is called as this is a demand schedule. This is a demand schedule. So here what you see here we see that the price and quantity demanded are represented in a tabular form, So this is what it is showing. It is just showing that at different prices what is the quantity demanded. At 5 rupee quantity demanded is 6. At 10 rupee quantity demanded is 5. At 15 rupee the quantity demanded is 2. So this is an example of, so this will be an example of demand schedule. So demand schedule is expressed as a table of price and quantity demanded, showing the quantities demanded at different prices. Now, the demand schedule can be classified as two types. One is individual demand schedule, the second one is market demand schedule. Now let us say that this particular thing what I have mentioned in this table is with respect to household 1. This is with respect to household 1. Now let's take household 2. Okay, this red color one represents the second household, represents the second households. Okay, so here let's say the quantity demanded. Okay, for the same prices is mentioned here. Price is same 5, 10, 15, but the quantity demanded of household 2 would vary, right? So quantity demanded at 5, let's say is 10. At 10 rupee, the quantity demanded is 8. At 15 rupee, the quantity demanded is 6. Similarly, let's take a household, next household. This is household 3. So quantity demanded is, let's take it as 4. This one will take it as 2. And this will take it as 1. So now what do you see? So this is an individual household's quantity demanded. This is the second household's quantity demanded. This is the third household's quantity demanded. So these three represent individual demand schedules. So this is a demand schedule of household 1, this is a demand schedule of household 2, this is a demand schedule of household 3 at various price levels at a certain time. Now what is market demand schedule? Market demand schedule is the simple addition of all the quantity demanded at a different price. Now let me calculate the market demand. Okay, I'll be doing it in the yellow color for more clarity. So the market, so what is the quantity demanded by the market? The first column represents the price, the second is the column represents the quantity demanded of household 1, the third column represents the quantity demanded by household 2, the third column is the fourth one is representing the quantity demanded by household 3, and the yellow one, the last column is representing the quantity demanded by the market, the quantity demanded by the market. This will be a simple addition of everything. So at 5 rupees, the quantity demanded by market is 6 plus 10 plus 4, that is 20. 6 plus 10 plus 4, that is 20. At the price 10, the quantity demanded by the market is 5 plus 8 plus 2, that is 15. 5 plus 8 plus 2, that is 15. Now, at 15 rupees, the quantity demanded by the market is 2 plus 6 plus 1, that is 9. So now this is the market demand schedule. So what is market demand schedule? Market demand schedule is a simple addition of all the individual demand schedules. So market demand schedule shows the quantity demanded by the market by the market at a particular price at a certain time. That is the market demand schedule. The next concept is demand curve. Demand curve can be individual demand curve or it can be market demand curve. So demand curve is basically a representation of a demand schedule. When the demand schedule is plotted on a graph, so when you present the demand schedule on a graph, it is called as the demand curve. And this can be an individual demand curve or market demand curve. It's an individual demand curve if the individual demand schedule is represented on the graph. If the graphical representation is that of the market demand schedule, then it is a market demand curve. That is the concept of demand curve. And this demand curve is always downward sloping. Demand curve is always downward sloping. This is how it is. On the y-axis, you will have price, and the x-axis, you will have quantity demanded. This is how a demand curve would look. On the x-axis, you'll have quantity demanded, y-axis, you'll have price, and the slope of the curve is downward sloping, and this is the demand curve. This is the demand curve. Now let's understand what is supply. Supply refers to the quantity of a commodities that is supplied by the firms at a certain price and at a certain time. Supply can be either individual supply or market supply. So like how we saw what demand was. Demand was the quantity that was demanded. In case of supply, supply is the quantity that is supplied. In case of demand, it is consumers who are demanding. In case of supply, it is the firms who are supplying. Okay, and even in this case, like how we saw in the case of demand, first there is price and then there is supply which depends on price. We're going to study the relation of price with the quantity supplied, and this relation is called as law of supply, which we'll be studying in the next slide. So that we'll be studying later. And it's not just, supply is not just dependent on price. There are various other factors, like how we saw in the case of demand. Even in case of supply, there are many other factors other than this. There are many other factors other than price affecting it, which we'll be studying slowly. So now at present, what we need to know is what supply is. Supply refers to the quantity of a commodity that is supplied by the firm at different prices at a certain time. So that is what is supply. Now supply can be of two types. One is individual supply. The second one is market supply. Now in case of individual supply, what is individual supply? Individual supply is with respect to one firm. With respect to one firm giving its data regarding how much it is ready to supply different prices. And market supply refers to a quantity that all the firms together are ready to supply at different prices. This is the main difference. So let's read it out. So individual supply refers to the quantity of commodity that is supplied by a firm at a different price at a certain time. Market supply refers to quantity of commodity that is supplied by all the firms at different prices at a certain time. So this even there is something called a supply schedule. Supply schedule is divided as individual supply schedule and market supply schedule. And that we'll be seeing later. Let's understand what is law of supply. Like how I told in the previous slide, in case of law of supply, we are talking only in terms of how price is affecting the quantity supplied. We are taking only one factor that is affecting supply. We are not taking all the determinants. We are saying that when all the determinants are constant, then how this price is affecting supply is what we are going to study under the law of supply. So in case of this, every other constant, every other determinant which is affecting supply, every determinant of supply is constant or remains unchanged, and there is change only in terms of price. And why are we keeping every other determinant of supply constant? We're keeping every determinant of supply constant because if you don't do that, then we won't be able to study correctly as to how price is impacting supply. We want to know how price is going to affect the quantity supplied. To know the only how price is affecting it, we need to keep every other determinant of supply constant so that we can study this particular factor. So now let's see what is law of supply. Under law of supply, when the price of commodity rises, the quantity supplied will also rise. And when the price of commodity decreases, the quantity supplied will also decrease. Here the logic is simple. What is happening is, let's actually take some price. Let's say at 5 rupee. At 5 rupee, some producer is ready to supply 10 chocolates. He's ready to supply and produce 10 chocolates. At 10 rupees, he is ready to supply more. Okay, he is ready to supply 20 chocolates. At let's say 15 rupees, he is ready to supply 30 chocolates. Now, what is happening? What we see is, with an increase in price, we see that the quantity supplied has also increased. And why is this particular scenario happening? This is happening because when the price has risen, when the price has risen from 5 to 10, we came from 5 to 10, the producer will think, okay, before per unit I was getting only 5 rupees, and now per unit I'll be getting 10 rupees. So I can make more profit, I can make more money out of selling now. So let me start producing more. Due to this, the supplier will start supplying more, the producer will start producing more. Why are they doing it? Because there is a rise in price. Because there is a rise in price. So due to the rise in price and due to the motive of earning more profit, they feel like selling it, because at the end of the day, the cost of production will be constant. The cost of production will be constant. Now let's say at this particular phase, when the price is 5 rupee and this is 10 rupee, let's say the cost of production is, let's say 1 rupee. The cost of production is 1 rupee. Let's make it 2 rupees. The cost of production for one chocolate is 2 rupee, and 3 rupee was the profit, and 3 rupee was profit. The second case, what happened? Cost of production per unit was 2 rupee itself, and the profit is now 8 rupees. So the cost of production per unit has not changed. What has changed is the profit that the seller is making per unit. The third case of the cost of production per unit is 2 rupee itself. But now what is happening? But now the selling price is 15 rupees. That means he is making a profit of 13 rupees. The selling price is 15, the cost of production is 2, so 15 minus 2, 13. So this is the profit. This is the profit that the supplier makes. And this is the cost of production which remains constant. That is why with the rise in price, there is also a rise in the quantity supplied, because now the supplier would think that, okay, if I supply more, there is a chance that I can make more profit. So how much ever time is there, let me produce more and utilize the opportunity. That's how the price keeps on. That's why the with the rise in price, the quantity supplied keeps on increasing. This is the law of demand. And please do remember that in case of law of demand, every other factor affecting supply other than price is constant. Every other factor is constant. Only price is not constant. Now let's understand supply schedule and supply curve. So supply schedule is what? It is just a table that is showing the price and quantity supplied at those prices. So this supply schedule, let me give an example of it for better understanding. Now let's say I am a seller of chocolates. I'm a seller of chocolates. So at 5 rupee, I am selling 10 chocolates. At 6 rupees, I'm selling 12 chocolates. At 8 rupees, I'm selling 16 chocolates. So this is how I'm selling. Right. This is one firm. Let's say the name of my firm is F1. Okay, so the F1 firm, as my firm, is selling 10 chocolates at 5 rupees, 12 chocolates at 6 rupees, 16 chocolates at 8 rupees. This is called as This is called as supply schedule. This is called as supply schedule. So what is happening over here? Here we are showing there's one column of price, second column of quantity supplied, and this becomes a supply schedule. So it's a tabular representation of price and quantity supplied. Now, in this case, in this particular case that I've shown, there's only one firm that I've considered. So anything which is done in respect of one firm or one entity would be termed as individual supply schedule. Will be termed as individual supply schedule. So individual, this is an individual, this is an example of individual supply schedule. Supply schedule can be divided as individual supply schedule and market supply schedule. Individual supply schedule is a schedule that shows the quantity supplied by a single firm or a single producer or a single entity at a particular price at a certain time. So that is what this is doing. So that's why this particular table is an example of individual supply schedule. Now let's see what is market supply schedule. Now let's say there's my competitor who is also selling chocolates. Let's say his shop's name is F2, that is firm 2. He's selling at 5 rupee, he sells 8 chocolates. At 6 rupee, he sells 15 chocolates. At 8 rupees, he's selling, let's say, 20 chocolates. This is what firm 2 is doing. So now so the market supply would be, so the in market, the quantity supplied would be, it will be just a summation of this. 10 plus 8 is 18. That means at 5 rupee, the quantity that is supplied in the market is 18 chocolates. At 6 rupee, the quantity supplied in the market is 12 plus 15. That is 10 plus 10, 20, 25, 27. There are 27 chocolates that is supplied at 6 rupees. At 8 rupees, how many chocolates are supplied? 16 plus 20, that is 36 chocolates are supplied at 8 rupees. So this is called as market supply schedule, which is just a summation of the individual supply schedules. I have taken two firms like this. In the market there will be 100, 200 firms. So this will be, so the market supply schedule would be found by adding every firm's every firm's individual supply schedule. That is, if every individual supply schedule is 200, 800, 900 is taken, it's added, and then we are being told that this is the market supply schedule. That's what is the concept of market supply schedule. Now what is supply curve? Let's just forget these things, okay? Now let's say that we are representing the this data that is given here in a graph, in the form of a graph. Let's take this y-axis, x-axis, and this is the quantity supplied. This is the quantity supplied. On the y-axis is the price. Let me just mark roughly 5 rupee, 5 rupee, 6 rupee, 8 rupee. This might, let's assume that this is 10, this is 12, and this is 16. So first one, what you know, is 5 and 10. That will be here. Next is 6 and 12. It's over here. That is, this is this and here. Okay, 6 and 12 here. Next one is 8. This is the price 8. And the quantity supplied is 16. This is 60. So roughly I have just drawn a supply curve. So this is an example of a supply curve. This is an example of a supply curve which are represented by S. So supply curve is a graphical representation of the supply schedule. So right now what I've drawn is an individual supply curve. Like this way we can even draw the market supply curve. For that, over here I have to take the in the x-axis, I would have to take the values of the quantity that is supplied in the market. Here I've taken value of individual firm, right? Over here I have to replace these values by the values that the market shows, and then it will turn into a market supply curve. At present, this is an individual supply curve. So this is the concept of supply schedule and supply curve. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Thank you.